Hey, it's Rachel from All About Planners. In this video I'm doing a review of the Limelife Planners notebooks that they have. You can customize these in a few different ways, including the cover design, the text, and then also the inside page layout, as well as the number of pages. So I opted to turn the notebook into a bullet journal. As you can see, I don't normally go for mint, but I quite like this leaf pattern, and I quite like how it turned out on the notebook as well. I opted to just get the smallest paper quantity just because international shipping from the US to Australia is quite expensive through their website, so I figured if it's lighter, way less. So I got the least amount of sheets, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but I will include it in the blog post, which will be linked below. It is probably, it's more than 0.25 inches, but it's less than 0.5, whatever that equates to. In centimeters, I'd probably say about like 8 centimeters. And then the cover is cardstock with laminate. Now normally I would say laminate's kind of like cheap and I wouldn't really recommend it. However, I have got a Limelife planner that I purchased a few years ago and it's held up well with the laminate. So I do think it is like high quality laminate compared to some other notebooks where, I mean, the corners are like already damaged before it even arrives to you. So anyway, one thing that I will say is a con though, the grey for this dot grid is so bold. So normally the dots will be quite faint on dot grid paper, but this is probably one of the boldest I've ever seen in a notebook. It is quite in your face actually, and I'll show you the pen test in a minute. It doesn't blend. So I like when you do the design and like you can see the dots, but they're not so like obvious. That's not the case with this one. The dots are just so big and so dark. I'm not a fan of that, and I really do think that's actually more of a deal breaker for me. I probably wouldn't purchase again for that sole reason. Also, another con, if you wanted to use this for bullet journaling, there's no page numbers pre-printed at all, and I don't really understand this wide margin, and then it's like a bit thinner up there, and it's just, I don't know, I feel like this could have been a really great notebook. I mean, their planners are great, but this notebook's just kind of letting it down on just simple little things. So let's go to the pen test. I will say that their paper is the same really nice, smooth, bright white paper they had used for their planners. So that's definitely a pro. Where did I do this pen test page? It's really nice to write on, but as you can see, like before when I was talking about the dots, they're still really obvious even after I've written on the page. So it is 120 GSM thick. Now let's see how it went for ghosting and bleed through. So there is a fair bit of ghosting, even a little bit of bleed through on the thicker marker pens and the highlighters. So I don't think I would recommend this to anyone. I mean, the dots and then the paper being prone to bleed through, it's just not really ticking the boxes for me, especially when you're paying extra for it to be like custom, and then maybe it's not such a big deal if you're in the US because shipping's probably cheap there domestically, but international, I just don't think it's worth it to get a custom notebook through them just for the cost when the quality just isn't there. Really unfortunate because I do love the bright white paper and it's really nice to write on, just that's too much ghosting and bleed through in my opinion. There's no pocket folder or any other like extras like that, it's just the inside pages that you chose in between the two covers. So there's no contents or index page or pocket folder or any other stuff like that. They do have a whole bunch of other pages, like page options. You don't just have to choose from dot grid. So if you did want to use this like as a normal notebook, it might be alright. Just if you're trying to use it as a bullet journal, I wouldn't recommend it because of those no page numbers and the paper quality. So I hope you found this review helpful. I will include the link down below to the review that I did of the Limelife planner. That'll be down below if you are interested, and don't forget to subscribe. I usually post a couple of planner review videos each week.